For the first time in literal years, I went to a manga convention, or like an anime pop culture convention. And before I talk about the rest of the manga that I read last week, because I already talked about the first half because I read so many, I want to talk about my experience at the convention. Typically, I live in a very small area. There are, like, if I travel, I can go to the bigger conventions like Toronto, Montreal, and whatnot. But near me, really, there's only ever like Comic Con. And like, there's nothing wrong with Comic Con, but like, if you compare it to like New York Comic Con, or what is it, like San Diego Comic Con, or like Yen Press and like Viz, like comes and like announces things and it's really exciting. Comic Con here is like, it's not like that. It's just like local stores selling like volume 2 of Spider-Man, like American comics. There's really no anime culture built into it. There might be like a teeny tiny bit, but like not if you're a fan actually looking for something new, which is a little bit sad. So I haven't gone in a while because I learned quickly that like there's not really a lot for me, sadly. Like, it's fun, but it's just not for me. So when there was a dedicated anime slash manga, I don't really remember what it's called, convention, I got really excited. So I went and I want to show off what I got. I didn't get that much. I will say I sold a couple of things to be able to buy stuff. I made, I think, like $67, and I was like, okay, like, I'm not leaving until I spend all $67. And I did not spend all $67. There weren't all that many things I wanted to buy because sadly we went through Artist Alley last, and that's where I was most excited to go. There was a lot of, I guess, like stores that just bought booths, and like the majority of them were all selling the same thing, which was a little bit funny. I don't know why they're allowed to do that. Like the plague doctor plushies, there was like every other booth was selling them, and it was very strange. They're cute, but like there were so many of them, and that's not anime or manga. But okay, I got these, which are super cute. This everything I got was from Artist Alley. But we have from Kimi ni Todoke and Fruits Basket. I always am looking for pretty new prints, like shoujo prints. So I really liked these, so I bought them. I also got one more print. I didn't get all that many stuff. This one, I want to keep it in its plastic. This is a Jujutsu Kaisen print of my best boy, Okotsu. I love him so much. I think he looks great. I just need to find somewhere to put them now because my art wall is pretty full. I buy things without thinking first. And then lastly, I thought he was super cute, is this little Basil. I don't know if you can see him well. My boy Basil from the game Omori. He's very, very cute. And he's a keychain, so I can just like click him on and then use him. And I really like him. I am a little bit hesitant to use keychains because the last keychain that I used and loved, somebody stole off my bag. And I'm still bitter about it. But we'll see. I might just use it to decorate things in my room. Like right now I have the majority of my keychains hanging off of my Tamagotchi's screaming at me. Most of my keychains are hanging off of where I put my books that I have read but have not reviewed yet. I have like a little table, and I just might add him to that. But okay, moving on. I have read 4 books since we last talked and the new week started. And they are these 4, and let's get to talking about them. As always, I will not be spoiling anything. I'm just gonna do like a quick how I felt about it. I've been yapping a lot already. Okay. My first one does have an English. It is Sweat and Soap. Japanese is Ase to Sekken. This is volume 1, so I started this one. It is complete at 11 volumes, and it is a seinen romance series. That means it's a romance series tailored towards older men. But that doesn't matter. Read what you want. So I read this, and I read it for 2 big reasons. The first reason is I really liked the author's other one-shot series. This is not a one-shot, but they wrote a one-shot called Home Office Romance. I loved it so much. It was cute. It was mature while still being funny. I really liked it. So that was reason number 1. Reason number 2, like everybody recommended this to me. It was really, really highly recommended. So I was like, I can't not read it. So I got this from Surugaya. It came pretty quickly. And then I read it instead of reading things that are on my TBR. Hence, I read a volume 1. I have mixed feelings about this one. It has a very, very simplified premise. We have two people who both work at a like toiletries company. He develops products and she works in, I think, just like logistics or something. I can't remember what department she works in, but she's an office worker at the department, at the store. That's all that matters. And she has a tendency to sweat very easily, and she's developed kind of a complex about it. So she really likes using their company's items to keep her like fresh and smelling good. He really likes the smell of her sweat. And then that's basically the premise. So my issues with this, I can't decide if I liked it or not, because we meet them. We start the story with our female lead, Asako, and we learn about her complex. She works really, really hard to stay like dry. So like if she gets sweaty, she goes to the washroom and like dries herself off real quick. And then we see her go to the lobby and she's like all happy and excited and looking at like the new products. And the male lead, what's his name? Natori, the male lead, Natori, who they don't know each other. He does not know her. He like sniffs the air, thinks he smells something good, runs over to her and starts sniffing her like really, really close, like really close. And that freaks her out because why is this strange man smelling me? And then he introduces himself like, oh, I'm Natori, I create stuff. Can I smell you some more? That's a little weird. And then he like drags her away into like a storage closet so he can smell her more. And he tells her like, your smell is an inspiration to me. I'm going to smell you more so I can develop new smells for new products. And then you can use the new products and it'll be nice. And that's basically how the relationship starts. In chapter one of volume 1, I really wasn't sure if I was going to like it because I thought he was creepy. I thought he was rude. Who smells somebody before even introducing themselves? I just thought like if that was real life, I couldn't do it. And like I know it's a manga, but because it's an office romance, I need it to be at least a little bit realistic. With something like Firefly Wedding, I can get into it because it's so clearly fantasy. It's so clearly something like different from my reality that if something crazy happens, I'm like, yeah, that's how the world goes. That's how people act here. Sure, I can accept that. In an office romance, no, because I know how offices work. You're not supposed to sniff your coworkers randomly. So that gave me a little bit of like, and I was scared that it was gonna stay like really fast paced, just kind of going with what he wants. And she was kind of, I would say maybe a little bit of a timid character, where she was clearly uncomfortable with things. She was letting them happen because she wanted to help the company. I didn't love that, but like near the end of chapter 1, when he tries to make a move on her as he's sniffing her in like a hallway, which is ridiculously inappropriate, she pushes him away and runs away. And that makes him realize like, oh, I was being pushy. I was being a little bit creepy. I should take a step back. And then he does. And then they're able to have a conversation and get to know each other on a slightly deeper level. And I was able to enjoy it more because I needed them to act less strangely. That's mean, but I needed them to be like... I didn't like that he only seemed to like her because he liked how she smelled. I found that to be kind of icky. Like, I want him to like her for her. Like, plus how she smells. Not just how she smells. So I did like it more and more as the story went on. They have a cute relationship, as I said. Just, it might be a little bit too... like fetish content, I'll say, because it really is strongly about how he likes how she smells, and I don't know how much I can get into that. I had thought that premise would be a little bit more on the back burner as we learned more about the relationship, but it really wasn't. It was kept like he only has a good day if he can smell her kind of thing, and like he can smell her emotions, which I was on the fence about how I felt about. I've decided I don't like that. I find that to be a little bit silly. I know they explain like the science behind it. I didn't love that. You can't smell when somebody's happy. Maybe you can, but it felt strange to me. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. I like their relationship because I like that they're cute together. I like an office romance where like clearly they're both trying to communicate. Even when they make mistakes, they understand it and they work towards fixing them. I like that. just I need them to lay off a little bit on the smell of it all. I don't mind that it's literally in the title, Sweat and Soap. I don't mind it, just I need it to be a little bit more on the back burner to their relationship. So I think I'm going to read one more volume and then decide if I want to continue reading it or not. I'm pretty mixed feeling about it. My next read is volume 1 of Magic Artisan Dahlia, Wilts, No More. As far as I can tell, this is a shonen fantasy series, meaning fantasy for a younger male audience. But it's one of those rare ones. Maybe it's not even that rare, but it's like, is it really shonen? Like, is it? It feels like it's for like young people. One of those ones, kind of like Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. I liked this, but I will say it did not need romance. The romance kind of hindered it, I'll say, a little bit. This series follows our protagonist, Dahlia, after her first life as an office worker where she always hung her head, be it because she had to apologize for things that weren't her fault at work, to apologize to her friends and family for letting work get in her way of her relationship with them. No matter what, she lived her life with her head hung down. And then she passes away from overwork, wakes up in the body of who would become a magic artisan. And in her new life, she decides she will no longer hang her head down. She will keep her head high and live a life she will be proud of. And at a young age, she decides that she wants to follow in her father's footsteps, an amazing magic artisan, and develop magical tools. And that's really what it is. It's like tools powered by magic stones, as far as I can tell. There is a lot of science and math behind it, but basically that's what it is. And she is a prodigy from a very young age. She quickly is able to understand concepts and whatnot. I like it because it focuses more on, even though she is a prodigy, she has such good ideas because she's lived one life before. She understands what the new world needs. Just because she has those good ideas, it doesn't mean she's going to be able to like perfectly create them on the first try. So like she has the idea of making a hairdryer. Doesn't mean she can make a hair dryer. She doesn't really have the experience and everything needed to be able to accurately, like, not portray, but to accurately apply herself and create a hair dryer. So she makes a lot of mistakes. Thankfully, her father's there to help her, and it's just nice. And it just feels realistic. There's a lot of, like, we learn about patents, which doesn't seem all that interesting, but it was for me at least. So we learn about patents, how to go about procuring items needed, how many items would you need, say, to actually sell things to a market. It's like, it could be boring, but because it's set in a fantastical world with very interesting things, it's interesting. And I've never read a fantasy series go so in depth about the like quote unquote like boring side of creating things. It's not at all boring to me, but I really like it. I feel like typically these kinds of stories would go more about like new and exciting ways. Like they go out and like slay the goblins themselves and then like harvest the ingredients and then use the ingredients. In this one, she purchases all of the ingredients she needs through a group of mercenaries or whatever. I just like that. I like focusing more on the act of creating versus like adventuring and stuff. I think it's interesting. The one downside, the romance. This will be like a slight spoiler. When Dahlia is very young, her father says, like, my child is a prodigy. He understands that very quickly. I will never marry her off to anybody unless maybe if they could prove themselves worthy, if they could prove themselves to be somebody who can really protect her, then I would. But like as of now, heck no. And then like one chapter later, again, like mild spoilers, here, Dahlia, here's your fiance. He's the first boy your age I've met, and he's your fiance now. I found that to be icky. And then like that whole subplot with the fiance was absolutely unnecessary because again, this is a really interesting story about like what goes behind creating things. It doesn't need romance. And when the romantic subplot ends, it's a little bit aggravating, but it does end. There's a new potential romantic subplot introduced. And it doesn't need romance. Not everything needs romance. And that's coming from me. Like everything behind me is romance basically. But this was such a good, interesting book that I really think it suffered from the romance because Dahlia is a strong woman. She doesn't need a man to create things. She needs herself. And that's all she needs. So I will be continuing that because I really do like it. I'm hoping if there is romance, it's going to be way on the back burner, and we focus on Dahlia and her journey in creating things. Moving on to my more romantic reads. I read volume 1 of Strobe Edge. This is a shoujo beat one. Obviously, that means it's shoujo. This is by the author of Blue Spring Ride. I did not know that, but it is. This is an old one. I'm very slow to start. This series follows our protagonist, Ninako, in high school. This is a high school romance, as she has a childhood friend that obviously loves her, and all of her friends assume that she loves him back. She just doesn't really understand her feelings as love. And they're always joking about, like, oh, you'll get together, like, very, very soon. Like, clearly he loves you. Clearly you like him, but you just don't know it yet. You're gonna get married. It's gonna be cute. But the whole time she's like, is this love? Like, I don't know. Like, I like him a lot, but I don't know if it's love. And then she meets the school idol, and she realizes, oh, this is what love feels like. And then there's kind of a triangle happening where Ninako's best friend clearly loves her. I'm just assuming they're best friends. They're childhood friends. Her childhood friend loves her. She loves the school idol. Who does the school idol love? We don't know. Things get very, very messy. They get very complicated. I'm not going to spoil anything here because I don't know where it's going, and I don't want to say, like, XYZ happens, but in, like, volume 2, it's revealed that it was actually different. So I'm not going to say anything. But very messy, lots of triangles. I really liked it. I thought it was fun. I was a little bit worried that the expressions would be a little bit too over the top, because I find a lot of the time older shoujo manga series do really rely on, like, comedic expressions to convey emotions. Like, No Longer Heroine, I have on the back burner, did, and I could not get past it. This one didn't. I did enjoy the art style quite a lot, and that's probably because it's by the author of Blue Spring Ride. I like her art style. So this was a very good one. I got the first 3 volumes from the thrift store, and I'm praying that I can find the rest, because it's old, and I have such a difficult time finding the English volume of old stuff. Such a hard time. Like, there's one volume, where is it? There's a series that I had been trying to find. This series, the Book Savior's Cafe, or the Savior's Book Cafe in Another World, I have been trying to find this. I think it's by 7 Seas in English, for like a year. And I just gave up and bought it in Japanese because they don't do reprints. They don't want people to buy their old stuff. I don't know. So I've been struggling, and I don't like starting something in English and finishing in Japanese, or vice versa. I only do it when I have, like, a heck of a time finding the English or the Japanese. So I'm hoping I can find the rest of it in English, but we'll see. And then my last read was You and I Are Polar Opposites, Volume 3. I am reading this one quite slowly. It is a shonen comedy romance. I really like this one, though. I've noticed I've been slowly but surely finding more and more shonen romance series that I like. And I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like I'm betraying my shoujo romances. I like them, and I like to like stuff, so I'm not going to complain. This is still, it's cute, it's fun, it's a high school romance. I find it to be very funny. I do actually like the fact that just about every character seemingly will end up dating somebody else. You can kind of really start to see the coupling happening in volume 3, and I really like it. I have not seen any character in this one that I dislike. Rather, I really like everybody, which is pretty rare for me. Usually I find side characters to be just there. In general, I neither like nor dislike them. They're just there to help the protagonists move along, do their thing. But here, they're given their time to shine. I, like, genuinely like them all, I think. I don't think there's any that I dislike. I'm trying to think, but I don't think there are. So I do like that they're all given their distinct personalities. I really like it. I have not watched the anime yet because I want to read all of the manga first. And I know that the author has a new anime starting, and I want to pick up that manga too. I don't think it's been given an English translation, at least physically, so I might pick that one up in Japanese, but I really, really do like her. I think it's written by a woman. I really like their way of telling stories and their art style and their sense of humor. I just like it a lot. And that's everything that I finished last week. I've already been reading a lot this week. I am still working on... Oh, it's over there. I'm still working on a Japanese light novel. I have one Japanese light novel on pause for now, and I started and finished an English light novel last night, and then I've also read quite a few manga. I'm on a reading roll, it seems. It's crazy, and I'm not gonna slow down. But yeah, that's everything that I read.